Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hi, I'm Shelly. It's nice to meet you. I am YouTube certified in channel growth and content strategy, and I'm here helping you make better content so you can share what you love with the world. Today we are tackling step 3 in my 10 steps to finding success in the eyes of YouTube, which if you haven't yet, I'm not sure what you're doing, but there is a free ebook that I created just for you, and you should go check it out so you can follow along with all the steps. And there's even going to be a giveaway for the people who are on my email list, and that's how I know that you're serious about being a creator. So make sure that you download that free ebook so you can follow along. Now that we've got all that out of the way, today we are tackling style. So what we're talking about today is everything visual associated with your channel. That is going to be like your channel art, that's going to be your thumbnails, that's going to be like the little subscribe button that you have down in the corner. I think mine is, nope, it's over here somewhere, right? So everything visual that is to do with your videos, including the style in which you're editing. So we have a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the very first thing, if someone comes to your channel, right, they're going to see your channel banner art. So one thing that you want to do is make sure, if you haven't yet, that yours is really doing you some favors when it comes to people coming to your channel know maybe when to expect videos from you, what your content is about, and what your promise is as a channel. So if you don't know what I mean is, are you a DIYer? Are you a makeup guru? Are you someone who's going to teach them how to repair their car? If I can't understand what your channel is about from your channel banner art, maybe you need to think about that because you only have a few seconds to get that first impression, and sometimes people will be like, oh, this isn't what I expected, and I'm gonna click off, or you're gonna see that channel banner art, you're gonna be more intrigued and you wanna see more. You want the second one, trust me, okay? So you have to think about, what does it look like on mobile? What does it look like on a desktop? What does it look like on a TV? So one thing I wanna make sure that you see, I'm gonna put the link to it, but there is an actual template when it comes to YouTube and your channel banner art. And so I think it looks really complicated, but it's not. So it has the different size boxes on it, and it's saying that this is the safe area when it comes to mobile phones and text, and you don't want things outside of it because it's going to look really wonky. So there are some common measurements that you want to try and keep in mind when you're designing your banner art. Now you can use all kinds of things like PicMonkey, Photoshop, you can use Canva, Pixlr, GIMP, all of these things that you can use to make sure that you hit the right dimensions when it comes to your banner art. The important stuff needs to be in the middle, and then all the rest is icing or just extra, okay? So I want to show you a couple of good examples, in my opinion, of people who've kind of mastered the continuity between their channel art and their thumbnails. So the first one is my friend D Niman. He has a channel appropriately called D Niman, but it's really about mastering your mobile and doing YouTube with your mobile phone, which is amazing because there's so many creators out there who are using their phone to get started with YouTube. And he makes amazing content, and he's educating everyone about how to do the best with what you have. His message is very clear, and all of his branding, his imaging, if you look at his thumbnails, right? And we're moving into thumbnails a little bit, but there is a consistent theme, right? It's about mobile creation, and you're gonna see as you start to go through his thumbnails, not only is there a consistent theme when it comes to dark colors, bold text that you can read that's very easy to spot, and his thumbnails are exciting to look at, and they're very much on brand. So a lot of the time you're gonna see a mobile phone, you're gonna see the application that needs to be used on your mobile phone, and I love that about his channel. So I think he does a really good job when it comes to marrying the thumbnails with the actual style of what his videos are, along with his channel banner. I think he does just a really good job. So another example of someone I think who's doing this extremely well, okay, so we have Rosanna Pansino. So she has a cookbook that has recently come out and a whole line of bakeware and everything like that. She's one of the biggest YouTube creators, especially in like the DIY lifestyle baking space. And so if you look at her banner, one thing that's really great about it is that it is actually talking about a book release that she has. So if you have a channel and you have a product that just came out, that would be a really good idea and way for people to know that there's something that they can purchase from you. And by letting them know, right, she's saying, I have this cookbook, it's called Baking All Year Round, and having that in the channel banner, it makes sense, right? Because she's a baking channel. So of course she has a cookbook. So if you think about that, that could be a really great way if you're using YouTube to drive business and sales and kind of go that route. If you have something that's just been released, like a book or a new release of a like e-course or something that you want to share or have people download or buy, anything like that, that's a really great way to use your channel banner, is to use it as an advertisement for that kind of service that you want to sell, which It's a really good idea. Now, when you look at her thumbnails, she doesn't use a lot of text on her thumbnails anymore. And if she does, it's very minimal, and it basically is going to be a very large font where you can still read it. One of the things that is great about hers, all of her thumbnails can tell a story with just a picture. And so a lot of the bigger creators, you'll sometimes see like Peter McKinnon or someone like that, they have very few words on the thumbnail because the picture itself is good enough to tell the story and make you stop scrolling, and it gives you visual interest. A lot of the time it's going to have their face on it. Again, you want to see the face, and it has them maybe like mid action or mid something that's very interesting. If you're thinking about all of the thumbnails that are being inundated and thrown at you when you're scrolling on your phone, on your computer, what is the thumbnail element that is going to make you stop and take notice? It may not always have words on it, and I would never recommend you take your entire title and stick it on your thumbnail, because most people are looking at a thumbnail on a phone and it's really, really, really small. So unless you have a huge font, you're never really going to be able to read a lot of the words that are on your thumbnail. So my rule of thumb is never have more than 3 to 4 words on a thumbnail, and they shouldn't be really huge, long words either. And then if you are going to use a font, make it like a big, white, bold text, you know, that really is visible from anywhere. Less is more when it comes to thumbnails. People want to see faces, emotions, less text, not the title of the video repeated, okay? Like I said, the picture can tell the story, and it's interesting enough for you to stop visually and see. So if you're someone who's a DIYer, you're a baker, you want to have a really detailed close-up picture of the final result, or the beforehand, or if you're a beauty person, the before and after side by side, or the I'm recreating someone's makeup tutorial. You can, you know, throw up the picture of that celebrity or person that you're trying to recreate, or you on the other side of it. But it needs to be like, think about what really makes it exciting for you to come and take a look at it. So here's something that you might find interesting. YouTube, Google, sometimes they are scanning thumbnails, descriptions, all that kind of stuff for indicators for reasons why your videos could be demonetized. So what do I mean by this? I mean, there's sites that you can use machine learning that is going to process and understand what is actually happening in your thumbnail. So let's go ahead and do a demo so I can show you what I mean. So let's say you have a thumbnail, it's all completed, or just a picture. We can just choose a picture. I will choose one of myself smiling. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that photo and I'm going to drag it into the CloudVision API website. And so you're going to see what happens is it's going to take a minute, it's going to process that information, and now look at this, it's going to give us some information about this photo. It thinks that it's a woman, and it is. Thank you, Google, and thank you, CloudVision. It thinks that I am smiling or I have joy on my face, right? And as you start to go through the information, it's saying what kind of words might come up if you were also looking at this photo. So you've got like eyebrows, makeup, beauty, hair, Asian, you know, all these different types of things. And as you keep going, you know, it says, oh, it knows I'm joy and I'm not angry, right? And then as it goes through and it's looking, it's also trying to pull out some information. Like my rating over here is this picture is not racy. And that's good, because if it was very, very high on being racy, like let's say I was wearing a bikini, then all of a sudden that might be considered more racy, and that might get me more likely demonetized because of something like that, right? I'm not saying that's guaranteed, it's saying it's more likely. You might want to take a peek at your thumbnail and take a look and see if Google and, you know, CloudVision is saying that your items are, you know, racy, or you look angry, or, you know, there's things that could be blocked potentially, like it says like medicine, like is this a drug? Is this anything like that? Because if it has those types of elements, there's a higher likelihood that it could get flagged later, or, you know, for review or being looked at and possibly being demonetized. So I'm not saying you always have to go with something that isn't racy. I'm just using this as an example of what you can look at to see the kind of information that Google is rendering just from you having a picture and a thumbnail. So another clear example of having a specific style is someone like Laura DIY. So if we go to her channel, right, if you take a look at her banner and her thumbnails, they're all very like bright, colorful. They have those pops of like pink and yellow and very like bright. She doesn't use that much text on her thumbnails. They have a very similar color pattern and scheme. You see she's usually in the thumbnail. She's usually smiling or making some sort of face. Usually, again, faces are going to do better than videos without any faces at all, but you can't have usually more than 4 people in a thumbnail without losing the perspective and being able to recognize everyone. And then if she does use text, it's very minimal, and it's usually a very thick white font. So she's usually brought out, and sometimes she's got like a bit of a haze around her, but she herself is very bright, sometimes cut out and then put on front of a thumbnail. So as you can see, there's a very clear and consistent style when it comes to her thumbnails that is very apparent when you look at her video feed. So why are we spending so much time talking about thumbnails, you may ask? Thumbnails are one of the most important ways that you can increase traffic to your channel. Again, I am saying this, if you don't have a good thumbnail, it doesn't matter how good your video is. Now on the flip side of that, if you have an amazing thumbnail but your video doesn't deliver, you're gonna see later, and we're gonna talk about in analytics, where your retention just drops off immediately. If you're not exciting and engaging to watch, the best thumbnail in the world can't help you. But on the other side, again, if we flip it around, if you have the best video in the world but you don't have a great thumbnail, not that many people are probably going to discover it because they will just keep clicking. They will keep scrolling, right? The whole point is to get people to stop what they're doing, pay attention to your thumbnail, your video, have them have more chances to know you, like you, trust you, subscribe to you, and be part of your community. So if I can just impart how important it is to have a great thumbnail and also a great video, that is going to definitely boost your chances of success on YouTube. So one of the things that we need to look at is going to be the click-through rate, and that is going to, I know it sounds scary and you're like, what the heck is that? It's commonly referred to as CTR. What you're looking for is a CTR that you can get into the double digits and higher. So if you're looking at your analytics and you have to go into the new Studio Beta and it is not available in the old style, go look at your click-through rate, and what it's showing you is the number of impressions, which is the number of times that people were able to look and see your thumbnail, and then the number of times people actually stopped and clicked on it. That's basically, if you boil it down, it's how many times people saw your thumbnail, how many times they actually clicked on it. So what you're looking for, like I said, is if you can get into the double digits, that's how you know you had an enticing thumbnail. And people, that's not just the only thing though, because it's going to be click-through rate as well as average view duration. So you need people to see the video and want to stay and watch the video. Okay, and we're gonna go into that more when it comes to analytics, but I just wanna toss out there, this one to start with, go look at Studio Beta at what your thumbnail click-through rate is, and if it's less than 2 or 3%, change it. Change the thumbnail, experiment with something else, and try and think about some of the theories and practices I'm telling you about what makes an enticing thumbnail, how you can still make that thumbnail your own and have it be very distinctly yours, okay? So that's the number one thing I want you to take away, is go look at your click-through rate and change those thumbnails if it's not working for you, okay? So homework assignment for you out there is going to be, if you go to your channel right now and you pretend like you've never seen it before and you're a brand new person looking at it for the first time, would you be able to understand what type of content you're making? Are you hero? Are you help? Are you hub? What kind of content are you actually creating? Would you know how often you're actually creating videos? Would you know when to come back and see videos? And if you were looking at all of your video thumbnails, would there be a consistent color or theme or pattern? For instance, on my channel, I have different colors for different styles of videos that I do. So it could be a certain color for tech reviews, certain color for when I make iMovie or Final Cut Pro tutorials, a different color for when I make tutorials about TubeBuddy or YouTube in general. So if you take a look at that, you can still know that these are my videos because you also see my little icon in the corner across all of them. So no matter which one it is, you always know it's still my video. So you see the superhero on it, you see my text running across it, you see the different font that is always readable and in that white color. So I have a lot of theory around why I do my thumbnails in a certain way. So I made an entire video just about thumbnails and the theory behind them and all kinds of data that I've seen. So if you're interested in that, I would really encourage you to go look at it because I don't want to repeat everything. It's all the same right here. Go check out this video. I'm going to link it up here on the cards for you so you can check it out and see if some of those rules should be applying to your channel as well, because I think it's really helpful and I think that video is a really good one for that. One last thing to think about when it comes to style is, like, when it comes to your video editing, for some people, they have a specific style that they like to use and you can immediately tell that it's their type of video. So when it comes to someone like Lord DIY, Alicia, Marie, Remy Cruz, a lot of them will use a lot of pastels, oversaturation of colors, like very, very saturated, and it's a style that works for them. It's young, it's hip, it's fresh, and you can tell that it's one of their videos. If you take a look at someone else's videos, you can tell that they're a lot different. So someone like Casey Neistat, right? There are certain elements of his videos that are always going to remain and be almost part of the scene and iconic. So when it comes to him doing mail openings inside of his studio or going to 368, those places are immediately recognizable and you feel like it's familiar. And so the set can also be a huge part of your style. So when it comes to my set, I spent a lot of time making it try to look like this, and I use the set in a lot of my videos so it feels familiar when you come back, that you know that it's a video from me when you see the twinkle lights and the different things in the background. So there's a style and an aesthetic of a lot of people's videos that you may want to take a peek at. And that could be everything from, I always make coffee in a vlog. And it could be something as simple as, in every video I make, I always say the same type of sign off, right? Or I always have the same intro that plays, or there's something specific about your video that when someone sees it, they know that it's your video. So like Jessica Braun on Jam Beauty 89, I know that she has a certain kind of like pop that comes across the screen as she's transitioning scenes. And someone like Remy Cruz, now she has the pink cheetah, but it used to be something else. So there's a lot of those stylistic choices that are made, which really make it feel like you know this video and it's familiar. I'm really hoping that this series is helpful for you guys as you're trying to navigate your way on YouTube, and I would love it if you are liking this series to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't yet, make sure you go download the free ebook on how to find success in the eyes of YouTube. Next up, we're going to be tackling Optimize, and it is honestly one of my favorite subjects. We're going to be talking about, again, my buddies over at TubeBuddy, how to upload the correct way, what you do afterwards. So I'm really, really hoping that you enjoy and come back for that one, because I'm really excited to make that video for you. As always, thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope you have an awesome one. See you later, guys. Bye. I just recorded the last 10 minutes without any sound. Nice.